Hello, it's really nice to meet you here today at COP30 in Belém, Brazil. Can you please introduce yourself and your organizations?
Yes, my name is Nawaz Haq, and I'm the Global Strategy and Engagement Director of an initiative called 195 in 365. What that is about is really picking up the power of the youth, mobilizing them. And so what we will do as part of this initiative is take 195 youth, that's one from every country around the world, on a convoy to visit every country in the space of a year. Now, in that journey, we will hold many COPs in every location. Every country has different problems, different solutions, and so we want to highlight those and really to unify a lot of the global youth behind this initiative, because one thing that we are lacking, I suppose, with all the good work that youth and indeed the NGOs are doing, they're not united necessarily, and they don't have consistent unity, visibility and unity. And I think if we have that, I think the people's voice, especially the youth, will be far stronger. So we are here now to engage with the youth organizations. So for example, we presented at COI, which is Conference of Youth, just at the very start or just before COP, to give them that and to make them aware that we're here and to start putting in the measures to really make the movement expand and get the legs that it needs. But we are actually government backs. So this is an initiative led from Grenada. We have a number of campaigns lined up. We have music campaigns where a song has just been released on our slogan, Be the Change. We have a football campaign being lined up with football clubs and authorities around the world trying to back this up. We have engagements with corporations. And so over the next 6 months or so, before we start the journey, what we're doing is we're building the foundations. And part of that process is letting the youth know that they're here and what they could do to apply to be one of those people representing their country.
Can you please also share your impressions of COP30 so far?
That interests me also. I think we're coming to learn more and more about things that haven't been discussed before, or not nearly as much. So there's much more focus on, for example, the impacts of climate change and global health, for example. There's a bit more talk about the sort of nature restoration aspect, although that's left to another COP by and large, which doesn't really make sense to think, well, we're saying here, well, look, all these things are interlinked. So why do we have discussions in different forms when, we must have a holistic systems thinking approach to solving climate change?
How important it is on the global level to have these scientific collaborations?
Well, it's crucial. I mean, I was at a pavilion, which was, I think, called Science for Climate Action, where they indeed were talking about the need for lots of scientific institutions and scientists to work much closer together. Because I think that there are gaps as a result of that not happening. But also there's gaps from an interdisciplinary approach too. So the impacts that we have, so scientific studies done on, for example, plastics, how that is relevant to, phytoplankton productivity or human health or other aspects. All these things are truly connected, but are we having the discussions at the right level with full integration, cooperation to the degree that we need to solve the problem? No, we aren't. And so therefore we do absolutely need to break the silos. We need to encourage a lot more collaborating as now. So yeah, there's a huge gap that needs to be filled. Without that, I think many of our crucial problems that may appear hidden will remain.
Yes, and we really need to address all of these issues, and especially the participants and scientists and experts from ALLATRA Global Resource Center. We are investigating the issue of micro and nanoplastics. We've seen that it's already affecting a lot of areas of our life, our health. It's affecting ocean And can you please tell us your comments on this issue and maybe ideas how we can really solve it, how we can collaborate?
I think the first thing is there really has to be much more awareness of the issue. When people realize the impacts of these plastics of various sizes are actually so detriment to every single person. I don't think that awareness exists. I think the study's done saying that there's enough potentially plastic in people's brains that come into the size of a plastic teaspoon. The impact that could have on your entire system. I think if they find out the facts, they would certainly push their, whether it's the local government or national government, the company they work for, who perhaps deal with plastics, anybody who can address this issue, they would push much further. But many people aren't aware.
Share your understandings or your ideas, how we can do that effectively.
I think we have to get a little more creative. The general public, they may not even know about climate change, or in fact, they may have been told it's a hoax, in some parts of the world. So we need good fact-based storytelling, but we do need to simplify it. And we need visuals as well. So we have to get creative about that. So telling simple stories to say, did you know that, like we've given the spoon idea in a way, a spoonful of plastic, or that analogy, and actually make a story for it and let them see how detrimental that is. And that's only one example, but I think we have to get creative with it. And I think the youth are very good at doing that. Hence the reason the 195 initiative is, I think, could be game changing. The stories they tell, how quickly they spread them, how engaged youth are in terms of discussing these matters is way beyond anyone else in civil society. So if that's the catalyst to then make the change, then that's something, that's the golden nugget we've got to get behind. As a closing remark, I would say, frankly, we have, reached 7 out of a 9 tipping points. We know where we're heading, and it's not necessarily a good place. We know we're working in silos, there's lots of gaps in technology, gaps in knowledge, but we do know enough to turn this around. And I would say we are almost at the last stages of having the chance to turn this around. If we delay any farther, it's going to get almost impossible. 7 out of 9 tipping points. They are, they're really out of reach. Technically, yes, there are ways to turn that around if we have all these integrated solutions and thinking that, practically speaking, they're almost impossible, I think. And I'm not trying to be negative, I'm trying to say that it's imperative to have a chance of having a truly sustainable future, and a just one, of course. It's got to be now. And, in 1992 at the Earth Summit, this is in Brazil, this is where the alarm bells were rung on climate change. And then the COP process started a little while after. And coming back to Brazil, I would say this has got to be the place now where we've got to just do the job, get it done. There is no other chance.